Hey, Bruno. Good afternoon. How are you?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
Good to
I'm going to
hear.
go ahead and get started here. I just want to do a quick introduction and we'll go ahead and turn it over to you, okay?
Wonderful.
Well, I just wanted to welcome everybody that's joining us on the webinar today. I know we're going to have a couple of late arrivals. We always do. It's, I guess, the world of webinars. And we're living in a new world here as we were in previous years. So Annuities Genius is very pleased to welcome Bruno Caron from AM Best. He's going to be talking a lot about income today and a lot about the value of income in retirement. Rather than take up his time, I'm going to go ahead and turn the show over to him. Bruno, thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to hear what you have to say. So thank you so much, and I'll go ahead and close that out at the end. But you have the show, buddy.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure and an honor to be part of this of this webinar and your audience. Just as a quick background, I kind of wear two hats. First, I'm a financial analyst at AM Best. So we're the ones who put the ratings on the insurance companies and the carriers. And I also have a passion for longevity risk, lifetime income, as well as retirement planning in general. So I wrote a book on the topic, which is called Lifetime Income to Retire with Strength. There's a free e-copy available to all participants, and where I certainly welcome you to get a copy. But most importantly, to engage in the conversation. I think it's the topic of the future, and I think it's an incredible it's an incredible avenue that the industry hasn't tapped yet, and with wonderful potential. So lots of tangents we can go on here. Lifetime income. The way I describe lifetime income is basically it's self-explanatory. It's income for life. So you turn a lump sum of money into payments for the rest of your life. That comes in various flavors. Social Security in the U.S., defined benefit pension plans, and of course annuities. And we all know that annuities have a lot of complexities in it. They have a lot of flavors, a lot of ways to look at it. And thank God we have Annuity Genius to slice it and dice it for us in a way that makes sense. And there are many products out there for various goals and for various situations and for various people at different times in life. That education and that information and that is extremely important and extremely valuable. But I'll kick it off with a few a few obvious things. The title of the subtitle of my book is called, it says, because there's a cost associated with living, and funding a retirement that will last a few months or a few decades has completely different financial implications. And the hard thing is, people don't know that in advance. It's that simple. If you're going to live longer, you're going to spend money. You're going to spend more money. Think about it today. Have you put some clothes on? Have you had a meal? Did you transport yourself somewhere? All of these things cost money. It's that simple. And if you're going to do that for a longer period of time, you'll need more funds in the end. So it's extremely important to focus on both the asset side of the portfolio and the income side of the portfolio. So if I take back my AM Best hat as a rating analyst, we we look at a myriad of statements when we analyze companies. We look at cash flow testing. We look at regulation. We look at a myriad of information, formal and informal statements. But at the end of the day, there's two fundamental statements that that really summarizes all the information. And at the risk of stating the obvious, that is a balance sheet and an income statement. And one feeds the other, and those are the two. Those are the two statements that that are important in terms of looking at the credit of a particular company. At a prior role, I was an equity analyst, and at the end of the day, we looked at those same two statements. We potentially looked at them differently. In an equity analyst role, you look a little more at the income statement. Earnings are driving stock prices mostly. So there's a little more focus on the income statement. From a credit perspective, the balance sheet is more of the anchor of the strength of a company. But again, nowhere, no time, anyone will ignore one or the other. And that goes the same. The same argument goes for retirement planning. When it comes to retirement planning, people focus on their assets, on their wealth, on their account value, what they're worth. But how does that translate into income? That's a little more nebulous. And it's funny because when people are in their working years and their accumulation years and their earning years, it's the exact opposite. A lot of people will base their financial decisions on earnings. How much do I have? How much? What monthly car payment can I get? What mortgage can I afford? And all of these things are on earnings. And my message is not to say we should look at one or the other at one point in time. Is that you should always look at both points in time. So when you're in your accumulation phase, in your younger phase, in your earning years, you should, of course, your monthly payments are important, but building up your personal balance sheet is extremely important as well. And when you get to retirement, of course, your wealth is important. How much assets you have is very important, but how those assets translate into income is also as important, if not more important. And that's where lifetime income comes in. And that's where risk pooling comes in. I always find it very amusing how people in their working years, most people have cars, except people who live in specific areas such as Manhattan. I know a lot of people in that area have been able to avoid having cars for a long time. But in most areas, people have cars. And for most people, at least the people I know, the amount of money they earn and spend during their year is worth more than the value of their car. Yet people insure their car for damages. And that dynamic of insuring themselves, or at least risk pooling themselves for living or outliving their savings, does not occur. And that's why lifetime income is so important. It's so crucial, because how can you how can you spend money with confidence without having some sort of lifetime income? So that's where that's where lifetime income comes into play, is to translate this lump sum, or at least part of a lump sum, and really have some sort of recurring income when you're in retirement, just like you were if you were in your living years. You know, people count on most people count on a paycheck in order to live. Things are different in retirement. So that dynamic is definitely important to be somewhat, to a certain degree, replicated at a time when people retire and don't have that paycheck anymore. So that's, you know, a lot of people ask, like, well, who does lifetime income apply to? And I believe that, you know, lifetime income is important for everyone, everyone, except maybe for the two extremes. So if you're on the very low scale and you have unfortunately no assets, well, there's no assets to convert or to translate into lifetime income, and those social mechanisms that are there, that are in place, are also going to you know, to continue to fund your living. On the other end of the spectrum, if you're on that Forbes list and you're on the top 500 richest people in the world, lifetime income doesn't apply to you. I mean, if you have so much assets that the amount of money you will spend during retirement is a drop in the bucket compared to what you will leave as a bequest, then sure, lifetime income doesn't apply. So that's a, you know, that doesn't apply for those people. But for everyone in the middle, for everyone who has some sort of assets, everyone who has some sort of income habits, the lifetime income is definitely the you know, the financial instrument that can help you, that can help your retirement, your retirement dynamic. So, you know, right now, a lot of you know, a lot, the current thinking is mostly, well, the more I spend, the more I run the risk of running out of funds, and vice versa. The less I spend, the less likely I will run out of funds. And the message here, it doesn't have to be like that. Lifetime income can help you change that dynamic, that dilemma, from the dilemma we just described, spending rate versus probability of ruin, to spending rate versus bequest. And that, I believe, is very powerful. That, I believe, is a very rational way to attack and to approach retirement. And the idea is not to say that you know, that one should suggest to another that you should leave a lot of bequest or you should leave very little bequest. That's not the point. The point is to say, whatever assets you have, whatever accumulated wealth you have, how much of it you want it. And keep in mind, it's not a perfect exercise, but how much of it do you want it to be recurring income, and how much of it do you want to be bequest? And of course, if you have some assets and you just spend them down, there is a risk of running out of funds, and that's longevity risk for individuals, and individuals run that risk, you know, run that risk, unfortunately. And the more lifetime income they can get, the less likely they'll have that longevity risk. So the idea is to really combine the two and look at all, and really have a comprehensive view from all of, traditional financial assets, stocks, bonds, real estate, family businesses, and every single one of those, every single one of those traditional assets, and kind of myriad this with everything else, with Social Security, with defined benefit pension plans, and of course with insurance. So the two have to be looked at in a comprehensive way, which is extremely important, because things should not be viewed in a silo. So that's where financial professionals need to can step in and really help clients navigate through this complex world. So and again, reiterating that education, information, knowledge, and expertise is always key. Of course, Annuity Genius is definitely one good source of information, and of key comparisons for for advisors to make really good and sound decisions for their clients. So with that, I think that the idea is to really think about both, and to think about this from from a strategic and a holistic point of view. In the book, there is a methodology, and of course, I always like to say that all models are wrong, but some are useful. I mean, I think that the book suggests some sort of methodology, and a step-by-step way of looking at this through the prism of assets and income, but at the same time, it's not meant to be rigid. It's not meant to say, if you don't do that, then there's something wrong. The idea is to have to look at things from various lenses, and I think that's one extra one that advisors and clients should look at. And it's really the key here is really to have the lifetime income calibrate this, the assets people have versus the income they have. And it's very, very, I think it's a very worthwhile exercise to go through, and to at least get a gauge of what the power of the power of income, at the cost of bequest is, and that can avoid situations such as always have curbed spending just by fear of running out of funds. And I think that can help a lot of retirees through this journey, especially for retirees who are on top of these issues, and most professionals, on our accountants and actuaries and financial planners themselves, will be on top of these issues, and will feel very, very comfortable about every single one of those particular aspects, and will be ready to tackle all of the risks that are out there. But as age, as age advances, sometimes it's hard to manage at that particular time, and that's where having some sort of autopilot really really help at some point. And that's where annuities can really make a difference, can really help and bring not only this peace of mind, but also help advisors help their clients to be more opportunistic and potentially more aggressive with the rest of their portfolio. And there's this common thinking that within annuities or annuitization, everything has to be annuitized, and that's absolutely false. And I've always advocated for some sort of measured approach. Things don't, people don't have to retire at a certain age, let's say 65, and figure out their entire retirement planning on that specific day and then put it on autopilot and don't have to think about it. It's a process. It requires recalibration periodically, and of course, macroeconomic environments change, and the idea is to be in a position to react, and hopefully in a position to be opportunistic, and in a position of strength. So that's where lifetime income can get so powerful, because it does address all of these these potential issues. So with that, I don't know if there's any questions that are coming in, and I'm happy to delve into certain various tangents, and because obviously it's a topic that is that I'm fairly passionate about, and very happy to discuss one way or the other. And I think that's one of those things that's that's a great opportunity for financial planners to help their clients in this particular in this particular journey. So I think that's so I can see right now there's a few questions from the panel. To get the book, I know it's not quite original, but Amazon is the place to go. The promotion for the free ebook will start tomorrow. So tomorrow by midnight, the ebook will be available for free for all listeners. You can also get a printed copy, but the title of the book is Lifetime Income to Retire with Strength, and the subtitle is Because There Is a Cost Associated with Living. So I think the cost associated with living is again very important. Whatever your amount is, whatever wealth you have at retirement, whatever that number is, how does that translate into income? How does that translate for the rest of your retirement? It's a major unknown, because your retirement, may last for a very short period of time, unfortunately, but it can also last for a very long period of time. And you want to be in a position of strength at all time. You want to the idea is not to predict or pick which scenario is going to apply to you. The idea is to really to be in a position of strength, and get the most out of it. When you think about it, institutions such as governments and such as insurance companies will deal with longevity risk with a pool of people. Insurance company can always increase reserves or strengthen reserves. Governments can always raise taxes and adjust over for a long period of time based on macroeconomic environments or improvement in medical science. But individuals aren't doing that dynamic. They will either make it, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and they don't know on that day, on that first day of retirement, they don't know how long that thing out of book. Yes. Question from Walter. Fisher Investment is well known to bash annuities in their ads, which seems to appear everywhere. Can you address that? Well, first, annuities. To annuity geniuses are come in many flavors. So you have deferred annuities, you have income annuities, you have variable annuities, you have variable annuities with lifetime benefits. And I think that the idea is to think about annuities as means of transportation. And there's multiple means of transportation. There's cars, there's planes, there's boats. And I think that to say that annuity bad in general would be just like saying means of transportations are bad. And I would agree sometimes that annuities are not the best fit for a particular client for a particular situation. Just like saying that flying a plane to go grocery shopping is not a good idea. I agree with that, but having the vision that annuities are bad in general, that's just saying that all means of transportations are bad. So again, thank God for people and organizations that that actually dissect every single one of them, and that just allows advisors to really focus on what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what applies and what doesn't apply. Annuities apply for both accumulation and decumulation phase of retirement. So of course, if you're talking about an accumulation annuity, it's probably not the best fit for someone in the decumulation phase. That's just one example, but I think there's no shortage of products out there, and it's always possible to take a product and apply it to someone and say that it's a bad thing. That's I don't disagree with that. But that's where financial advisors and financial planners need to find the right ones, and there's a lot of really good ones, and potentially some more coming up, to help clients navigate through retirement. So I do believe there's more. I do believe that all annuities serve a certain purpose. But of course, they don't all serve the same purpose for the same people. So yeah, no, that's no. I just don't believe that just bashing one thing overall and saying, oh, that's just bad at all. I don't see that as something that's very productive. But at the same time, you can always find that type of that type of situation. But yes, and we could see some developments across the globe I mean, there's been some lifetime income development that are more, that are making their way into the various countries, various economies, and that is there to address that very simple fact that not that long ago, people simply had defined benefit pension plans, and it was very, very simple. The world has become more complex, and we do need. I strongly believe that we do need to not necessarily get back into that specific, into that specific um, uh, pattern, but we need to get back into the availability of lifetime income, which obviously annuities are the only private sector financial vehicle that offers that, at least for now. It's always important to look at other sources as well, such as government or employers. But we all know that defined benefit pension plans offered by employers are fading away. So the vast majority of the population will not be able to count on that. So these are very very important topics. Of course, retirement planning is not just about longevity risk. It's not just about market risk. There are plenty of risks out there, and I think one that we haven't touched on is long-term care and health expenses. There is a magical number out there that most Americans, as a couple, will spend very, grossly, roughly speaking. I mean, of course, it's not a pure, it's not a scientific measure, but will spend roughly $300,000 in healthcare expenses through their retirement. Of course, saying that, well, I have $300,000 in cash ready, that's a good start, very good start. But the reality is that if you live a very short life, you're probably not going to use that $300,000 to its fully extent. And if you live a really long life, you'll most likely need much more than that. All else being equal, of course, you can always create various scenarios where you have a short life, and that expense can be higher. But generally speaking, all else being equal, the longer you live, the higher your healthcare expenses are going to be. Again, lifetime income helps with that. Lifetime income alleviates that that burden of always having that potential potential bill, that potential recurring bill. So I think that's a very important thing. And speaking of bills, I think that through our lives, we've always been conditioned to have those bills, the utility bills, the phone bill, the cable bill. So it's always it's always a burden. It's always a stress to have that bill. Lifetime income is the exact opposite. The provider of lifetime income owes you that bill. So it's a very good situation to be in, because it kind of helps you out when you're not working. So having that reverse dynamic is quite quite appealing, and can help retirees significantly. So again, lifetime income extremely important. And there's uh, there's a lot of other risks that are out there, as I said. And one of the quotes from Tom Egna is that longevity risk is a risk multiplier. So whatever risk that you may have, whether it's market risk, inflation risk, healthcare risk, whatever it is, if you run out of funds, all of these other risks become astronomically even worse. So again, having some sort of lifetime income will help you out with this particular with not just with longevity risk, but with all of the other risks. And what I like to leave people with is that lifetime income is not just about checking that box of longevity risk is a risk, I get lifetime income, check that box, end the story. It doesn't work like that. People need to look at things in a very comprehensive way. And it also helps financial advisors help their clients to be in a position of strength. I mean, if there is a certain market correction and retirees solely rely on their portfolio to provide for their basic needs, their cable bills, their groceries, and everything, and their very basic needs, they'll be kind of forced to sell those particular assets at a time when it's most potentially undesirable. But having that lifetime income, does provide for some income, and doesn't necessarily force the sell of those particular assets at a time that may not be desired. So again, that lifetime income can help retirees be not only in a position of strength, but also be opportunistic about the market and about other strategies they may want to venture in. So these are all positive and strong things that that lifetime income can offer. So trying to look at the chat here. We had the question. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any. So yes, thanks for putting out eventually the link for the book. It does, the book does talk about the current environment right now, lifetime income in general. It does talk about the various product, various strategies, what's out there. It's really not meant to say, oh, you should buy this product, or this product's better than this one. Annuity Genius does that for you. It's really meant to have a kind of a discussion, to have a reflection on your on how you see your assets and how you see them generating income, because we all know right now that $1 million portfolio, roughly speaking, will generate, maybe roughly speaking, gross very crude numbers, maybe $20,000 per year. If you think about where the 10-year treasury is sitting right now, if you think about where corporate yield, where equity yields are sitting, the income there is fairly low. So lifetime income will will kind of decrease that asset base, but will increase that income you can count on. And lifetime income will try to calibrate that. And the book kind of illustrates that. So, and we have another question. This is the best discussion I have heard about the importance of lifetime income. Thank you very much. I certainly appreciate that. That's that's very positive comments are always welcome, and I certainly appreciate it. And it doesn't have to stop there. I strongly encourage you to get the book, either the ebook that will be free this weekend, or the actual paper book, whatever works for you. And I'm always happy to discuss and bounce back those particular ideas, because I just don't believe we need to wait until everyone until everyone gets to a very old age and run out of money as a society. Obviously, some won't, some will never, but there's a very significant segment of the population that has what we would say adequate assets to retire. But if they outlive those savings and they spend that money, we want people to spend their money in retirement. That's the goal. That's the idea. And lifetime income is not just about not not having longevity risk. It's also about that confidence in spending. I mean, you want to spend, you want to enjoy, but if you're always curbing on spending, and just because of that worry about outliving them, you'll live a you may not live the fullest extent of your retirement that you could potentially live. You have brought it into ground levels in ways that client can understand. Great. That's my goal. I mean, the book is definitely geared towards financial advisors who have a certain knowledge of those of that dynamic. And as I said, it's not my role to say like, oh, buy this product, buy this other product. There's just so much out there, and I think the financial planning community out there has a lot on its plate, and not only has to deal with those particular issues and risks, and there's a lot of regulatory and compliance around it as well. So it's not easy. I know. I absolutely understand that. But I do want to I do want to offer that lens. I do want to offer that reflection, and I do want to offer that way of thinking, again, without discrediting everything else that is out there. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of thinking that goes into this. But I think it's a fundamental dilemma that is out there that needs to be brought forward. So no, I strongly encourage you to keep the discussion going. Either through multiple people, including me, and to do that. So just checking the chat one more time to see if there's things. Maybe it would be a good time to put the link for the book. Let me see if I can personally do that. That way it will already be there. So if you give me one second. So I just put the link in the chat, and so that's so that is there, and please, I'm always open for feedback, for comments, realizing that this is not a perfect science. If there was an easy way to do it, everyone would do it. We wouldn't be having that conversation in the first place. So there's a lot of dynamic that is going on. Lots of risks, lots of considerations, both from from financial planners perspective, as well as clients perspective, of course, because they're the ultimate people we're all serving. So no, I think this is that's the idea. I think there's a lot in the last few years. There's been a lot of development in that particular field, and I don't see it going anytime any other the other direction. I think it will go into a more present and more positive direction. Now I see the link apparently did not make its way there. Let me try something else. How about this one? That's the author page. One's the author page, the other one's the book page. Hopefully one of the two will make it. One of the two will make it to the chat. Please let me know if that's still and of course there's always I can always send it later on, but that should be available, hopefully. And but no, yes, I think that at the risk of repeating myself, people insure themselves for their car. What's the value of their car? Usually less than the amount of money they spent for 1 year. I think it only makes sense to at least have some sort of risk pooling for 1 year, 2 years, a decade. A lot of people will take a false sense of security, thinking that they'll live to their life expectancy, add 2, 3, 5 years for conservatism, but the outcome of superseding this by 10, 15, 20 years is not impossible. And 10, 15 years without actual any money, that's a problem. It could be a problem for you. It could be a problem for your family, for your kids, for society. So I think that this is something that's extremely important. And at the same time, I don't want to put it in a way where it's a risk and it's strictly a fear. I also wanted to bring it the positive way, where the more lifetime income one can get, the more confident they can be in their spending habits while they're in retirement and enjoying more retirement. I think that is that's the key message here is that you know, wealth and earnings are both important. The balance sheet and the income statement, they're both important. Some, you know, some for some situations, you know, one's more important than the other. But at the end of the day, regardless what you're analyzing, regardless where you're at in life, in which stage of retirement you're in, there's no such thing as ignoring one or the other. They're both absolutely important, and they need to be managed in tandem. And I think that's one of the key messages here, is that they're both important. So hopefully that linked has worked. Let me check back in the chat to see if okay, so I see Ron raised a question. So Ron, can you speak? There we go. Ron, you're on mute, but I think you can speak. Ask to unmute.
There, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so the link didn't show up, but they're saying that you'll be sending out a link for the free book as a follow-up.
Yes, we will.
So that solves that problem. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks to you. I certainly appreciate the participation. So yeah, no, I'm happy to send that in the as a follow-up for sure. But did you have a question as well, Ron, or?
No.
Okay.
Very satisfied.
Good. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. And and I think that we have another one in the chat. So I'm sorry. I'm also you know, every single one of those platforms are always different. So okay, Martin, it's not showing in the chat. Maybe you can put in the Q&A. Well, that's a very good point. Let's try that. Let's try to put the link in the Q&A. We can still send it. Answer live question. No open question. Let's go to the. Sorry, I'm trying to put that link into the Q&A, but let's.
If you have to, it probably doesn't take too long to cook that hamburger, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have to go over the time limit. We'll go over there. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I think that the live on Facebook Q&A. All right. So my apologies for not knowing how. I have the Q&A panel open, but I'm not exactly sure how to copy and paste that link into the Q&A box. I don't know if I have a No answer.
Wasting time.
Yeah, so no, and please, any more questions, any more topics anyone wants to dwell in a little further, be happy to address those before we Paul says, okay, so type answer, there we go, type answer. So I just okay, so I just answered Paul's question. So I don't know if that is if that's available for everyone or only for Paul. Hopefully, let me try to Martin. I'll try that same thing. Martin. So I answered Martin and Paul's questions. Hopefully, they'll be available to everyone. So I think we're coming up on the yes. Sorry.
I had said that. I started on the way up with that stuff. I wonder if I put it in the room. What? Okay, good.
All right. So I think we're coming up on the okay. Paul got the link. It is there. Okay, thanks. Okay. So it looks like people got those. So yeah, so I think we're coming up on the hour, and I certainly want to thank you everyone for joining the discussion. Again, hopefully you'll take a look at the book. Happy to happy for any follow-ups, and I wish everyone the best of luck in the meantime. And so I don't know if the screen raise. Okay, no, that's not the raise hands. So I don't know if is Dominic still there? Oh. Start recording. So again, I see some people are leaving. So again, thank you very much. Most certainly appreciate it, and we'll send those links very shortly. Thank you.